Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Frank Caprio, and I'm running for governor. Can you hear me? I'd like to thank Stephen Wright, Rhode Island Voter Coalition, for putting together tonight's forum. I'm looking forward to addressing all of you tonight. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. Let me cut right to it. Why am I running for governor? I'm running for governor because I love Rhode Island. I grew up here. I've been here my whole life. The state's been good to me. I have a couple kids. I'd like them to be able to stay in Rhode Island and have their careers here in Rhode Island. You know, over the last 4 months, I've met with about 600 small businesses, asking for their ideas on how we can make the state better. The meetings have been great, and I'm going to continue doing that throughout the campaign. I've also been talking with individual Rhode Islanders, just like all of you who are here tonight. And I'd like to tell you about a meeting I had the other day. A young man grabbed me by the arm. I hadn't seen him in about 15 years. His name is Billy. Billy's just like every other Rhode Islander. He works out every day, lives in Smithfield, he has 2 kids. He takes 2 buses to work in the morning from Smithfield to Providence. He's doing that to save money, so his daughter can go to URI in a couple of years. It's her dream to go there. When he gets to work, he keeps his head down. He's worked for the same company for about 10 years. He's doing all right. Takes those same 2 buses home at night, gets home after the kids and the wife have already eaten dinner, puts the leftovers in the microwave, eats his dinner, helps the kids with the homework, but he can't sleep too good at night. He's worried. He's worried that the supervisor at his bank is going to walk down the hall one Friday afternoon and hand him a pink slip. And he knows if that happens, he's not going to be able to keep up with that pile of bills on his kitchen table. That keeps him up at night. And he said to me, Frank, I know you're running for governor. Every decision that you make when you're governor, I need you to think of guys like me and all the people of Rhode Island who have cut back, who are doing their best to live within their means. You know, government's not doing that. That's why I'm running for governor. I'm going to get up every morning. I'm going to fight for Billy and every person like him in Rhode Island, those 600 small businesses and the other 35,000 that are out there. That's what needs to be thought of up at that State House. Enough arguing about Yankee Red Sox license plates, right? It's about time we cut the prices, we change the menu, and we get a new chef. That's what one of the small business guys said this afternoon at one of my meetings. He said, you know how I turned around this business? He said, I cut the prices, I changed the menu, I hired a new chef. That's what we have to do in Rhode Island. Lower the taxes, have a new business plan, and new leadership. I'm the person to lead the state. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Thank you. It's indeed an honor to be here with citizens, the true bosses of the state of Rhode Island. My name is John Robinson. I'm a native Rhode Islander. I was born on Ranch Street in Central Falls. My mom and dad were factory workers, and we lived in a 3-decker tenement house. I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, that's for sure. But I went to Providence College. I was a business major, and on the day after graduation, I was commissioned as second lieutenant in the United States military. I served 5 years on active duty, 3 years in Germany, and 2 years at Special Forces Command at Fort Bragg. I was a paratrooper. And when I got out of the service, I held the rank of captain. And during the mid-70s, Vietnam was phasing down, so corporate America came a calling. And I jumped ship and went to work for a large corporation in their labor relations program. And for the next 10 years, I spent my life living on an airplane, negotiating labor contracts with some very tough unions, including the Teamsters, the paper workers, electrical workers, the tobacco workers. And I settled arbitration cases and handled 4th-step grievances. That's the kind of experience that I'm going to bring to the office of the governor. But then the entrepreneur spirit hit me, and I decided I was going to start my own business. And 23 years ago, with the $5,000 loan from my mom and dad, I started a company. And for 23 years, I worked that company as a small business owner. And some of the things that General Treasurer Caprio talked about, I experienced. I made payroll some months with my American Express card. I had to look a commercial lender in the eye when he told me that my balance sheet was no longer lendable. I had to leverage my house and my life to keep a small business going. I know what small business owners are going through right now, and they are the true job creators in the state of Rhode Island, and no one has been taking care of them up until now. We've been worrying about attracting big corporations to Rhode Island and giving them tax breaks, and no one's helped the small businesses. And that's going to stop, and it's going to stop now. I'm going to run on a campaign that covers 3 things, and you can remember them easily, 3 R's. The first is rescue. This isn't about strategic thinking. This is about triage. This is the state of Rhode Island being rolled into the emergency room, the trauma center, on a gurney, and we need to stop the bleeding. We've got to cut taxes. We've got to help our small businesses. And we've got to do it now. We can't even wait till the election's over. We've got to do it right now. This session of the General Assembly has got to get with it and help our state now. We've got to lower taxes. We've got to reform, the second R. Rescue, the second R is reform. We've got to reform our tax codes. We've got to reform education. We've got to reform our social service program so that every person, every able-bodied person who goes on public assistance needs an individual freedom plan that shows them a pathway to self-reliance, which is what this country was made of. We can't have a social service program that becomes more than a safety net, it becomes a habit. Those days have got to be over. The taxpayers can never afford it. But don't misunderstand me. We need to take care of people who fall in hard times for a shorter period of time. My name's John Rhode. I want to be your next governor and never give up hope. Never give up hope.
We're going to open up for the audience questions now. We've got Gina and, is it Mike? With microphones? Sean, okay. All right. Have we got our first question?
No one has a question.
Wait for the microphone.
For Robitaille, what was the 3rd R?
Sorry, I ran out of time. The 3rd R is renew. We have to renew the spirit of hope in Rhode Island. There's a statue on top of our state house. It's the independent man. In this state, when we framed our Constitution, we did it with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of free people who had the spirit of freedom. And they didn't want a big government. They wanted to be free to make up their own minds. And what's happened in Rhode Island is government has gotten too large. And the larger government becomes, the more we lose our freedom. And the more people become dependent upon government, the more they lose their self-dependence. We've got to go back and renew the spirit of where the state was founded so we can grow. And I want to renew the spirit of hope. We're down on ourselves. We have this inferiority complex that we have to change. Rhode Island's a great state. I was born here. I don't want to leave here. We have the most beautiful bay in the world, and I hope we get the America's Cup back. Yeah. But we've got to do things to lift people's spirits and renew the energy of our founding fathers.